Prince Harry's legal defeat, royal fallout, and Meghan's shadow role. The inside story that's got everyone talking. It started with a simple plea, police protection. But what Prince Harry got instead was a resounding no from the UK's High Court of Appeal. A ruling that left him not only legally defeated, but emotionally exposed. If you've ever felt shut out of your own family, blindsided by someone you trusted, or lost in the aftermath of a bold decision, you might have more in common with Harry than you think. Imagine being born into the world's most famous family, then voluntarily stepping away, only to realize you may have left your safety net behind. Literally. For Prince Harry, that realization hit hard when the British justice system ruled that he couldn't access taxpayer-funded police protection, not even when he's visiting the UK. For a man raised under 24/7 security, the ruling wasn't just a rejection. It was a public reminder that the gates of the palace aren't just locked, they're bolted. And behind the scenes, rumors swirl. Is Meghan Markle still pulling the strings? Is King Charles done playing diplomat? Is Prince William beyond repair in their brotherly bond? Let's peel back the layers of this royal unraveling. Chapter 1. When the crown stops picking up your calls. We've all had that one moment where we hoped someone would show up for us, and they didn't. Now, picture that person being your father. And also the king. Prince Harry's request for security wasn't about privilege, it was about safety. After all, this is a man who grew up under the public eye, walked behind his mother's casket in front of millions, and served in Afghanistan under a constant cloud of risk. He knows what real threats look like. But the UK's High Court thought otherwise. They reminded him that stepping down from royal duties meant stepping away from royal privileges, including taxpayer-funded protection. It's like quitting your job and then demanding office perks. Still, one might expect the father-son bond to transcend courtrooms. But King Charles? He reportedly didn't flinch. No statement, no behind-the-scenes intervention. Nothing. And that silence? It speaks volumes. Could it be that the king is setting a precedent, cutting ties, drawing boundaries? Or is he simply tired of the royal soap opera Meghan and Harry seem to star in? And where does that leave Harry now? Stay with me. We're just scratching the surface. Chapter 2. The Meghan Factor, Chess Master or Scapegoat. Now, let's talk about the woman whose presence changed everything, Meghan Markle. When Harry met Meghan, it was love at first sight. But for the monarchy, it was turbulence at first headline. From the get-go, Meghan was vocal about her vision. She wasn't going to be the silent royal wife. She had causes, goals, and a determination to reshape the monarchy to fit a more modern narrative. Admirable? Sure. But not everyone appreciated the disruption. Enter Megxit, a term that evokes either fierce independence or betrayal, depending on who you ask. Behind the scenes, insiders claim Meghan played the long game. That her influence over Harry was more than just supportive, it was strategic. Critics accuse her of turning Harry against his roots, distancing him from the family he once defended fiercely. But here's the twist. Meghan isn't doing the talking anymore. She's been mostly silent through this latest drama. And that silence is louder than any interview. Could it be she's already planning the next move? A high-profile documentary? A memoir sequel? A jaw-dropping tell-all? The stage is hers if she wants it. And yet, Harry stands in the spotlight alone.
Why?
Chapter 3. Harry the Outsider, a prince without a palace. Let's pause here. Have you ever made a decision you believed in, only to feel the weight of consequences later? Harry's no different. His decision to walk away in 2020 was bold, emotional, and many say, necessary for his mental health and family. But fast forward to today, and he's a prince without a kingdom, a son without royal backing, and a brother without connection. His fight for security wasn't just about bodyguards, it was about legitimacy, respect, acknowledgement, something to say, I still matter. But with the court's rejection, the message was clear. You left. You don't get to return with expectations. Even worse, Prince William hasn't publicly supported him either. The once close brothers are now reportedly icy, with trust eroded and communication minimal. Harry has no home in the UK anymore. No public role. no access to royal protection. And while he might have a mansion in Montecito and a Netflix deal, he's also got an identity crisis on his hands. So what now? A life in the US press? Or something deeper? Let's dig in. Chapter 4. The Brand versus the Brother. Here's a thought. Is Harry still a royal, or just a brand? Ever since stepping down, he and Meghan have carefully built a public identity rooted in advocacy, vulnerability, and truth-telling. From Oprah interviews to Netflix specials, they've mastered the art of narrative. But here's the problem. When your life becomes a brand, your authenticity can feel curated. Harry's public image leans heavily on being a victim of the media, the monarchy, his past. And while that vulnerability can be powerful, it also risks becoming predictable. Insiders whisper that Harry is increasingly seen as the product Meghan packages. That he's the heartstrings she pulls when public sentiment wanes. That every legal loss is an opportunity for another feature story. It's not hard to see why people are questioning, who is Harry without the palace, the protection, or the pity? It's a question he might be asking himself, too. Still, if he's ever going to reclaim his own story, he'll need to step out of the shadow, both his family's and Meghan's. But is he ready? Chapter 5. Lessons in Loyalty and Leaving. Let's get real. Walking away from a toxic environment takes guts. Whether you're a royal or not, choosing your mental health over tradition is brave. But here's the catch. Freedom doesn't come without cost. Harry might have gained autonomy, but he's lost proximity to power, to family, to legacy. And that's a trade-off many of us understand all too well. You can't keep all the parts of a life you walked away from. Still, his situation gives us a moment to reflect. How do you balance loyalty to your partner with loyalty to your roots? When is it self-preservation, and when is it self-sabotage? And how much of your past should define your future? For Harry, those aren't theoretical questions. They're his daily reality. And, depending on what he does next, they might also define how the world sees him forever. Chapter 6. The Road Ahead. Redemption or Reinvention. So what now? Harry's options aren't endless, but they are important. He can double down on his American media presence, embrace the role of cultural commentator, mental health advocate, and ex-royal truth-teller. Or he can turn inward, rebuild bridges, start quiet conversations, seek reconciliation. Because while headlines love the drama, the public loves a redemption arc even more. And maybe, just maybe, the next chapter isn't about the feud, the fame, or the fallout. Maybe it's about rediscovery. But to get there, Harry will need to ask himself the hardest question yet. Who am I now? If you've ever struggled with family expectations, felt like an outsider, or tried to carve your own path, Harry's journey isn't just royal drama, it's deeply relatable. We all crave acceptance. We all want to matter. And sometimes we all need to fall apart a little to figure out who we really are. So whether you're Team Harry, Team Royal Family, or somewhere in between, this story isn't just about crowns and courtrooms. It's about identity. It's about truth. It's about growth. And most of all, it's about the courage to face the consequences of your choices and still keep moving forward. Chapter 7. Behind Palace Walls. What the royal family isn't saying, but everyone's thinking. While the media swirls around Harry's defeat in court, and the internet spins theories faster than Buckingham Palace can say protocol, one thing is very clear. The royal family's silence is screaming. No statements. No olive branches. No subtle leaks to the press, at least none that we can confirm. It's the royal version of ghosting, and Harry is the ex they're pretending doesn't exist. And let's not pretend it isn't intentional. According to palace insiders, yes, those elusive sources close to the crown, King Charles is drawing a line in the sand. He's reportedly had enough of the emotional boomerang that is Harry's public campaign, 1 minute begging for reconciliation, the next throwing barbs in Netflix specials. But silence? It's not just a passive-aggressive move, it's a calculated message. To the public, it says, "We're focused on the monarchy, not melodrama." To Harry, it says, "You chose your path. Keep walking." And to Meghan? Well, it might just be the ultimate royal rejection. But here's the million-pound question. Does this radio silence signal the end of any possible royal redemption arc for Harry? Or is it just the beginning of a new power play? Let's explore. Chapter 8. America's Prince? Or Royal Castaway? Let's talk geography and identity. Harry's been living the Californian dream. Warm weather, a $14 million Montecito mansion, celebrity neighbors, podcast deals, Netflix contracts, and a polo field nearby for some good noble nostalgia. But does that make him America's new prince? Well, kind of. While Harry and Meghan have built a strong following in the US, there's still a cultural disconnect. Americans love a rebel, sure. But they also love consistency, and lately, Harry's been all over the place. Is he a privacy advocate? Then why the documentaries? Is he trying to rebuild bridges? Then why the ongoing legal battles and royal exposés? Even the most loyal fans are starting to ask, what's the end game? And for a man born into centuries of legacy, Harry now faces a strange paradox. He has everything money can buy, but none of the institutional grounding he grew up with. He's not quite a royal anymore. But he's not quite a commoner either. And in that in-between space, identity starts to unravel. Chapter 9. Meghan's Long Game, Strategy or Self-Preservation. While Harry stumbles through courtrooms and headlines, Meghan has gone eerily quiet. No interviews. No explosive statements. Just a few carefully curated public appearances and some whispers of potential Hollywood deals. So what gives? Some say Meghan is wisely avoiding further backlash. Others believe she's busy building her next big brand move, maybe a lifestyle empire, maybe a memoir, maybe another docuseries with a juicy twist. But one thing is clear. Meghan isn't disappearing. She's regrouping. And that silence? It's part of the playbook. Those close to the couple say Meghan's approach is now all about optics. Don't overshadow Harry. Let him take the heat. Position him as the misunderstood royal, while she quietly plots the next step for their public narrative. Some call it manipulation. Others call it PR genius. Whatever it is, it's working because everyone's still talking about her, even when she's not saying a word. So the question becomes, is Meghan still the co-pilot in Harry's journey? Or has she already jumped ahead to write her own